Done? Yeah. Okay, so today topic is data collection. Previous we discussed about history of data science and intro to Python, right? So today we are going to discuss about data collection. This slide will explain where we are. So today we are discussing about data collection. We are done with intro to data science and intro to Python. We are at data collection, and further we discuss data cleaning and data visualization and the rest. Now, let's discuss about the overview of data collection techniques, like how many ways you can collect the data. First of all, what is data collection? Data collection is very important for any project, especially for data science, because without collecting the data, okay, I will wait for a few minutes. Okay, done. So for the data science projects, first of all, we need to collect the data, right? So data collection is very important. And there are some techniques that you should use while collecting the data. First is primary data collection. Anyone have any idea about primary data collection? Any idea? So in simple, it is collecting the data directly from the source. For example, we all have the favorite hero or heroine, right? So if you want to know some information about them, and you prefer primary data collection as the method. So what you will do, you will try to get an appointment with the managers, and next you try to meet your favorite hero, and next you start collecting the data, like his favorites, like his favorite food, his future movies, and everything. So you are collecting the data directly from the source, like directly from the hero, right? So it comes under the primary data collection. What are the common methods? Some of the primary data collection surveys. Um, in Blackboard, once the course is done, you will get a tab like course evaluation, right? So it comes under the primary data collection, because you are the one who are listening the class, and our university need the information directly from you. So it comes under the primary data collection. And interviews is a one-to-one interaction. So it comes under the primary data collection. And observation. So if you are doing any experiment, you will make some observations, right? For example, if you are developing a drug, so you will consider the initial steps, and you will start to develop like step by step by observing how it is performing, at each time. So the observation comes under the primary data collection. And experiments, so it comes under the primary data collection. What is secondary data collection? So you are trying to collect the information uh, from your favorite hero, but you prefer the secondary data collection. So what you will do? So you will directly visit the website where he already mentioned the info, and you used to collect the data from that website. Like you won't meet the person directly, but you collect all the required information from your website. So it comes under the secondary data collection, because you're collecting the data from the existing sources. What are some of the examples of secondary data collection? Public data sets, web scraping. We discussed in the previous class. If you want to collect the data from the websites, we will do web scraping. And APIs, we used to give requests to the servers, and with the help of APIs, we can collect the data. And databases, so those comes under the secondary data collection. Finding APIs. APIs is another method of data collection. For APIs, you require some authentication. So you used to give some request to the websites from which you are planning to collect the data. So that is another type of data collection where you need to require some authentication. And here is the link where you can find APIs with Python wrappers. And real-time data collection. So any examples related to real-time data collection? Any idea? Whether, yeah, yes. Stocks, right? Stocks is a real-time data collection. And social media. So when we post a pic on Instagram, the likes and comments, they always used to get update step by step, right? So it comes under the real-time data collection. So the post is collecting the data from your followers, from your friends. So if anyone liked your photo, it will get updated. So it comes under the real-time data collection. And streaming services. So what is a good example of live streaming? Like anything, right? Cricket, we watch the live streaming cricket. So it comes under the real-time data collection. Ethical considerations. When we are collecting the data, like any type of data, we need to follow some rules. If I went to the first example, you are collecting the information from your favorite hero or heroine. So you need to make sure that you collect only like specific information. So if you got an appointment, you directly met with him and you collect his favorite, like I said before, like his future movies, his favorite food, his favorite vacation places. But you won't collect one information from him. Any idea about that? The remuneration that he's taking, right? It comes under the privacy. So you won't ask such kind of information. It comes under data privacy. And even though when you collect such kind of information, you won't post such information in the websites. So if you check any websites, you won't find the remuneration related to remuneration for any hero or heroine. So it comes under data privacy and security. And after collecting the data, like you conducted the interview and you have some information, so you will post that information in your channel. Like if you are from a media, what you will do, like you collect the information and you will directly present that report to the, like your manager. But you won't type those information in a, like WhatsApp chat and you won't forward, right? So whatever the data that you collected, that need to be kept in a particular format. You need to follow some rules. You need not to misuse the data. Okay. There are some rules like the relevant regulations like GDPR and HIPPA. Those are some of the acts where you need to follow the data privacy. If you don't follow the data privacy, it will lead to some legal issues. Okay. Okay, that is related to the ethical consideration and the type of data. And now coming to the categories, there are like two categories in data. One is structured data and unstructured data. Basically, there are two types, but if you go in detail, like there are three types, like structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Now let's discuss about structured and unstructured data. So what do you mean by structured data? Like what is the example of structured data in simple? Yeah, table. So anything that is organized, it comes under the structured data. So structured data, which is highly organized and stored in a fixed format, like tables. Basically, in databases, we used to observe many tables, right? So it comes under the structured data. Excel sheets, structured data. Anything that is arranged in rows and columns, that comes under the structured data. CSV, it's a structured data. So this is just a simple example showing a table. And next, Excel sheet. This is the example of the structured data. And CSV, this is also one of the example of structured data. And example for relational databases, yes. In relational databases, there are several tables and there are several keys which used to connect one table to another table. It also comes under the structured data because the data is in a organized form. And if we want to discuss more depth about the structured data, we can easily retrieve the data that we want. compared to dealing with unstructured data. Coming to unstructured data, so anything that is not organized, for example, in our laptops, if you consider a folder, like a particular folder, it contains all the information. Um, like if you consider a simple folder, it can contain the audio information, your photos, like some of the assignments, like different type of information. So that comes under the unstructured data. And images, the best example of unstructured data, videos, it comes under unstructured data, audio files, and social media posts and logs. If you see Instagram reels, it contains like different type of information. So it comes under the unstructured data. And text data. So basically in WhatsApp, we used to type many messages. So it is one of the simple example for unstructured data. Images data. So this is pic of vegetable market. Yes, it's a pic of vegetable market. And here, this is a single image, but it is divided into a little squares, right? Every square pixels, right? Every square is a pixel. And so this comes under the image data and audio and video data. So these are some of the examples of audio files, and that is an example for the video data. Folder containing different data. Like I said before, in your laptops, there are different folders, and those contain, like each folder will contain different information, like scanned documents, audio recordings, uh, your important college documents and everything. So those comes under the unstructured data. Semi-structured data. So in between the structured and unstructured data, there is one more category, that is semi-structured data. Semi-structured data, the name itself describes, it is semi-structured. Semi means like half. So there is a data, like half of the data is organized and the rest is unorganized. Examples for semi-structured data, JSON and XML files, NoSQL databases. And in semi-structured data, they used to follow some organization principles because as some of the data is structured. This is an example for JSON data. If you observe the JSON, it seems to be structured, but not 100%, right? So that is the reason it comes under semi-structured data. And XML data. In XML data, we used to have tags. So if you observe the tag scores, there are three values, 70, 80, 90. Let's consider they are the exam scores of three persons, like out of 100. So one person got 70, like 80 and 90. So I open scores tag and I close the scores tag. So it seems to be organized, but not completely. So this is one example for unstructured data. NoSQL data. This also comes under unstructured data. Summary of data categories. Okay, so till now we discussed about structured data, unstructured data, and semi-structured data. And in our projects, we are gonna use only structured data. We are not gonna discuss about unstructured data. Okay, data provenance. So what is the meaning of data provenance? So it is the detailed tracking of dataset origin. In simple, it is the complete life cycle of the data, like where the data, where the data is collected, where it is stored, how you transform the data, and how the data is transforming at each stage. For example, you are trying to develop a drug. Uh, for example, I am doing research on Parkinson disease detection, and if I want to develop a drug, like currently the drug that is using for the Parkinson disease is levodopa, but if I want to develop a new drug, so what I will do first, whatever the data that I required, first I will consider the source of the data, and next, in order to develop that drug, what are the information that required? I used to collect all that information. So it comes under the data collection. And the necessary requirements for the drug development, it comes under the transformation. So I used to do that. And next I will check how the drug is working. Like in final stage, what we will do, we will give the drug to the person or a rat, and we used to observe like how it is performing, the performance of the drug. So the complete life cycle is known as data provenance, like collection and transformation, like collection, transformation, and checking how it is working with respect to the time. So it comes under the data provenance. There are some key concepts that you need to remember when you are discussing about data provenance. One is error identification. Yes, at any stage of the complete life cycle of your data, you can get an error. Like, for example, if you are trying to collect the data from the source, there is a chance that you can get an error, right? Maybe some of the data is not like some of the data is missing, and you don't have the access to get that source. So, or like half of the data is missing. So it comes under error identification. Simply error when you are collecting the data. So you need to identify the errors, whether you are getting any errors at every stage of the life cycle of your data. And answering critical questions. So when you are collecting the data, make sure that you consider this type of questions, like why the data produced, how the data produced, where where was the data produced, like what is the source of the data, and when was the data produced. Because if you want to develop something new, you always need to make sure that you are dealing with the recent developments. So knowing about the history is important, but when you are doing an like completely new thing, you need to discuss the recent advancements and by whom the data was produced. Yes, like who produced that data, because when we collect the data, we always used to make sure that it should be accurate, and we need to check like who produced the data that you are collecting or you are considering for your experiment. Next, data wrangling. So data wrangling is the complete process of transforming and organizing the raw data. So you collected the information about your favorite person, and you have the raw data. And once the interview is done, so what you will do, you will make sure that where the information need to be like uploaded. Like there are some specific websites where the people used to visit regularly, right? Like if you upload on Instagram, it will get viral soon, and Facebook, it is the best method. So like based upon your requirement, if you want your data to get viral soon, and you will prefer these methods like social media. But if you want your data to be secure, then you will use some of your channel's websites, so that your data will be stored at a particular point. And in order to access that data, you need some like some permissions or some authentication. And you are the one who decides where the data need to be stored after the collecting. So it comes under the data wrangling, like transforming and organizing the raw data. There are some key characteristics of data wrangling. One is handling diverse data sources. Yes, so if you are doing an experiment, you need to like there is a requirement that you need to collect the data from different sources. In like I think in 2023, when I was a PDS student, we developed something related to providing accommodation for all the international students. So that is our project. As a part of data collection, what we did, we collected data related to transit, like where are the stops, where are the transit locations. And another type of data, I think it's related to the apartments, like nearby apartments. So it is one type of data. And next, we collected the restaurants information, like the grocery stores information. That is another type of data. And I think, yeah, we also collected the information related to the crime, like how the crime rate is around the university. So this comes under like different data sources, right? Like every source is like different, like which is related to groceries, and next transit, and next crime report. Like different sources. So in order to develop a single project, there is a need that you need to collect the data from different sources. And what is the purpose of data wrangling? In the meaning itself, like we are transforming and organizing the raw data, because we can't use the data if it is not organized, right? So whatever the data that we collect, it need to be organized carefully. That is the purpose of the data wrangling. Steps and tools. Yes. So you collected the data and you want to add some more data. Like you collected like 90%, but you think you need like some more data for the completion of the project. So what you will do, you will add the data to the existing one. And you need some steps like tools in order to add the data, in order to join the data to the existing one. And after collecting the data, you will check whether there are any null values or whether there are any missing values in proper strings. So you need some tools for that. Like you can use pandas, you can use NumPy. So it comes under the steps and tools for the data wrangling. And effort and time investment. Yes. Uh, Data scientists, they will spend like nearly more than 50% of their time in cleaning the data. So they spend like significant portion of the time in organizing the data. In my research, we collected the data based on IMU sensors. Like we consider like 12 patients and we placed IMU sensors on left and right and chest parts of the body. And we collected the data. So it is a real-time data because we are collecting the data directly from the sensors. And once the data is collected, we took like I think like 1 to 2 months just to process that data. The data collection is easy, but in order to process that, we need like significant portion of time. We invested like more than 2 months just to organize the data in a particular format. So we invested like that comes under the effort and time investment. Okay. And okay, main steps in data wrangling, discovering, there need to be a clear understanding what is the data that you are considering, what is the source, are you collecting the data from an accurate source, because you should not collect the data from an like fake websites. So the source of the data is very important. And structuring, so once you collect the data, you need to organize it in a format. And cleaning, so once you collect the data and you organize, like you have like several Excel sheets or CSV files, then you clean the data with help of some of the libraries like pandas, NumPy. And if you want to visualize the data, you can use Matplotlib. And yeah, that comes under the cleaning part. Okay. And enriching the data, as I said before, you collected the data that you required for the project, but you think that for the project to be completed, you need like some more data, like some of the data is missing. So at the step, you will go back to the first step, right? Again, you will go back to the source of the data and you will collect some more data and you will add to the existing data. So that comes under enriching the data. And validating, yeah, make sure you collect the data from an accurate source. Your data should be accurate. Simply collecting the data from any websites or from any sources and saying that, okay, this is my data, I'm going to work with that. No, you should always make sure your data is accurate. Because once you collect the data and you went to the step of like model building, you can't, and there you identified that your data is not accurate, or you collected the data from your fake website. So your time is wasted, right? So always make sure you collect the data from an accurate source. Publishing. So publishing the data sets, Kaggle, it's the best example where people used to collect the data and clean and transform, and they used to upload to the website. So whatever the data that we download from the Kaggle, it's a clean data. So it comes under publishing. Data preparation. So once you create the data, like how you prepare, like these are the steps that I already explained, like data characterization. Make sure you understand the nature of the data. Yes, you need to understand every type of the data. Like for example, in your data set, let us consider there are like three columns: age, gender, or salary. So you need to understand what type of variable I'm dealing with, like whether it is a continuous or it is a categorical. So you need to know complete information about each column. Okay. And next, data cleaning. Once you organize the data, next we will go to data cleaning and data integration. It is simply the enriching the data, like you are adding the data to an existing source or your existing data. And make sure you clean the data. Like most of the people will do, they simply download the data and they directly jump into data cleaning. No, you should not do data cleaning without understanding the data. It's very important to understand what data types we are dealing. Are there any improper strings, or you need any, like any more information? So that all steps should be completed at the first. Then only you need to go to data cleaning. So simply downloading the data and keeping in a data frame and doing some coding work for cleaning. No, it gonna work. It don't work. Actually, it should not work. So data cleaning should be done only after you find that your data is accurate. So when you are doing the project, I think in our PDS, we will provide the data sets, right? So please make sure that you read the data completely. If you don't understand like any variables or any type of variables, uh, we are here to help you. But you start cleaning only once you understand the data completely. Okay. And data movement. So efficiently transferring data across systems or networks. Yes. So once you are done, we always used to make sure that whatever we developed, that should work without any interruptions. Like you develop some model, and that model should work properly without any delays. And data serialization and deserialization, they comes under like converting data structures into binary or textual format for efficient transmissions, and deserialization, like reconstructing data back. This is simply like encrypting and decrypting the code. Like in militaries, we used to use some coding, right? Like Morse code or some secret codes, so that our data will be encoded. And once it reached the destination, it is again decoded. So it comes under encoding and decoding. When we observe in grocery stores, we used to observe the barcode for every product. So the information is encoded in that, and with the scanner, we are again decoding the information that is contained in the barcode. Okay. Yeah, I think we are early, but it's fine. So conclusion, make sure you have the right data. Uh, so this step actually we are doing because we are providing the data sets for you. You just need to select what type of like data set you are interested to discuss. So the data collection part, like we did, and the data sets are ready for the project. You just need to like pick one of the data sets and you can start working. But it is best to know this kind of information because in an interviews, there is a chance that they can ask like, okay, what you will do if you have this kind of data, like what you will do like if the data is missing. And in resumes, if you want to develop any simple projects, you need to develop the data. You need to collect the data from scratch. So this information might be useful. Okay. Okay. Does data cleaning makes everything okay? Okay. The appearance of a hole in the Earth ozone layer over Antarctica first detected in 1976. That was so unexpected that scientists did not pay attention to whatever their instruments were telling them. Okay. Uh, they thought their instruments were malfunctioning. Okay. Professor, do you have it? Like, can you explain this? I think I missed this slide. Yeah.
Put stuff in air conditioners called chlorofluorocarbons.
Okay.
Air conditioners work more efficiently,
Okay.
but it would escape into the atmosphere and float up into the high atmosphere, but interact with ozone in higher levels of the atmosphere. Ozone in the high atmosphere protects us from ultraviolet rays,
Mhm.
which cause mutations and skin cancers and all kinds of terrible things.
Okay.
So, they didn't know about this interaction, this chemical interaction,
Mhm.
until one day satellites that NASA had launched back in the 1970s detected that the ozone layers levels were really low over Antarctica.
Okay.
And if you click one more button on there,
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
actually had quality control algorithms take the data, and they decided the sensor must have failed because the readings were so low. It wasn't reading enough information to be realistic. So they rejected the data at first. And then eventually someone found out what was going on. And so as a result, in the 1980s, we ended up banning that kind of chemical, changing what goes into air conditioners. And you could say we saved the planet if you want to. But the point being that they were cleaning the data before they should have cleaned it. As Harika just said a moment ago, if you don't understand the data and you start cleaning it, if you have an outlier in your data, you say, well, this is clearly incorrect information, you could throw away useful, important, in fact, crucial data. So,
Okay.
good.
Yep.
I didn't have a speaker on over here, so I should have started talking into the microphone.
Okay. So, do you want me to shift to debugger?
Yeah, might as well go do a quick and dirty
Mhm.
overview of that. Yeah,
I think.
yeah, run through the slides,
Okay.
and then we'll do the project.
Okay. So,
We can just keep recording, I guess.
okay. Yeah. Slide. Hey, just a second. I need to pull up the slides related to debugger. Mm. Okay, so we have time. It's only 10:05. So we can discuss one of the important topic, that is debugger. Debugger can moderately complex software that is significantly easier with breakpoints. Uh, so debugger is basically useful to deal with the errors. Print statements, they work for simple code, but you must remember to take them back out. They don't work well with event-driven programming. So if you know how to deal with the errors, like we did a complete lecture on errors, right? Like different type of errors. So in order to get rid of errors, we should know about the debuggers or the error handling exceptions that we already discussed, like try, catch, and finally. Okay, I think only one, two, only two, three, four. Yeah.
different things. That's the thing to point out is that even though people have gone through entire programs,
Yes.
they may have never touched a debugger
Okay.
and they don't see the usefulness of it. So, yeah, it's useful. But that's how to do it right there. Yeah. The directions.
Yes, these are some of the directions for the debugger. I'm not aware of this topic completely, so professor have good idea about this. And actually, these are some of the sources.
Back to the slide.
Okay.
Point is,
Okay.
one line, one file, and you change that to true,
Mhm.
and your debugger works.
Okay.
And then finding where that file is, it goes in different places. In different operating systems.
Mhm.
So the
Okay.
next page is, where is that file at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Next.
with the help of kernel.json, so
Yeah.
that is a okay, that is the source for the debugger, but where you find that page, here is the information. So if you want to know about kernel.json, you can use this slide and you can try that.
Next slide, without a debugger.
Okay, this is without debugger, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Okay.
Turn that bug on. You can turn on the debugger panel, which is over on the right side.
Okay.
Set breakpoints. There's.
Oh,
So
that's the end.
that's it.
Okay.
The point being, you know, if you're programming, if you have a moderately complex program, it things are breaking in the middle, you've got semantic errors where you've done something wrong. You can find those. You can set watch points, you can set breakpoints. Very powerful tool. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. So if you need any information related to debugger, those slides are available in the Blackboard. You can simply download and you can visit in your free time. Okay. So it's only 10:08. Yeah. Project. So we can discuss about the project if you have any doubts related to team's formation, the team's logo, which is due by this Friday. So do you want me to tell any information?
So I guess the main thing is to show the
Mhm.
slides that we have
For the
for the project reminder about when time slots are, pull up that spreadsheet
Mhm.
and remind people to find teammates.
Okay. So I will open the Blackboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that they can find the sheet. Okay, one second.
Integrity contract,
Mhm.
still due Tuesday. And there's the logo. Needs to be uploaded.
Yeah, please make sure you submit the assignments before the due date. I think more than 50 students, they did not still submitted the integrity contract. So please make sure you submit it before the due date. Yep. Yes, I will.
Stop it.
Okay, yep.